Good. We good?
Yeah.
Good. Emily, thank you for coming in today. We appreciate you taking your time to come and visit with our company. We looked over your resume, and really what we're going to try to do today is figure out how well you fit into our company culture, as well as figuring out your skills and talents.
Great.
So explain to me why you chose our company. What interests you about our company?
So I love the design aspect. I love how I can use both my photography skills and also my graphic design skills of what I studied and be able to apply them in real life job together.
So you mentioned that you have a photography skill and design skills. Which one do you feel are stronger?
I feel my photography skill is stronger. I've had more experience with that even outside of school, like outside my studies. I've been doing that for about 2 years professionally. So I feel that that's where my strong suit is, but I've gained more appreciation and a passion for design work as well.
Okay. So what made you want to do photography and that leading into graphic design?
So I was interested in it when I was younger, and then my senior year of high school I took a film class, which I loved. And then from there I got into college, and then I wanted to do it through the art department, study photography, and then I came across visual communications, which was more well-rounded. You get to learn how to do graphic design, learn everything about Adobe, which I really liked, and that really appealed to me, just being more rounded. And so then I was able to practice that in photography, be able to develop those skills in my classes, and then I realized that I had an eye not just for things in a camera, but also things on a screen, and that I could make a career out of designing.
So what would you like to accomplish during your design career?
I think I would like to just accomplish the balance between the two, how I can offer just more than one skill to the table with graphic design and also photography. I feel that I understand modern design really well, and that's a strength of mine. And so with that, I feel that I can really easily spot out things that are outdated, or with clients that have maybe websites that need help or advertising in that sense. And I feel that I have a really strong will to help do that.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I been in college for about 2 years. I have 3 semesters left. Like I said before, I'm studying visual communications, which is basically just all around web design, graphic design, photography. Something I really love to do. Outside of that, I'm from Seattle. I live in Idaho now, which I love, and it's funny, but I would love to end up having a graphic design career, because I feel like that would be more substantial, I feel like, than just photography. But if I were to do photography, I'd love to do it at a corporate level, not necessarily just on my own.
So we have a lot of applicants here, and they all have great work, including yours. What makes you different than them? What do you bring to the table that they don't have?
I feel that since I have a background in photography and graphic design, that I can bring those elements into graphic design work. And it's really easy for me. I'm a visual learner, and so it's really easy for me to point out the things that can easily be fixed, and things that can really apply to the client. And I feel that since now in time, graphic design is so important and so crucial for advertising, that since I've been studying that I kind of have an eye for that already, that I've been able to grow that in my studies. And so now being able to build a career off of that I can really bring that to the table and bring all of these skills I've learned to the company.
So our company, even though we have a lot of applicants and we're very busy, we try to keep it small.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of, I guess you're going to have to wear a lot of hats working here.
Okay.
How do you feel about doing various different jobs? And sometimes you won't be doing just graphic design because we're a smaller company. How do you feel about that?
I honestly prefer working for a small company. I feel like it's easier to get to know management, it's easier to know your coworkers and kind of build that relationship. And then I feel good doing versatile things. I feel that even, like you said, if it's not just graphic design, that all those little things, even in advertising or whatever it may be, that even helps with the overall need for design work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That all those things can help build up the major skills.
So you mentioned earlier that you are familiar with the Adobe products. Which ones are you most comfortable with?
So I'm most comfortable with Lightroom, which is just kind of basically just photography stuff. It's not as, I would say, intense as Photoshop. There's not as many things that you can do with it, but if you're just working on portfolio work and things like that, not doing anything too crazy, then that's what I have worked with for the past 2.5 years, and I'm really comfortable with that. I feel like I know the ins and outs of it really well. Also InDesign, I've worked with that a lot too at school, just with school projects, and also outside of class helping with friends with wedding announcements and things like that, that's really helpful for me to be able to like get my ideas onto a piece of paper. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
So with this job, we're going to have a lot of clients coming to us, talking to our sales reps, and then coming to you, and they're going to be asking for mock-ups,
Okay.
and they're going to be asking for what their advertisements are going to look like, and sometimes they're going to be vague directions. How do you do with people giving you not the clearest of what they want?
So in that situation, I would make up probably about 4 to 5 different examples and take what they say, because I know that just because I prefer a certain design doesn't mean that they're going to feel the same way. And so I feel that listening to the customer is crucial, because their wants are more important than mine. And so especially if they are vague, I'll make sure that, like I said before, I'm a visual learner, so I would write them down, make sure that I check each of those things off, and then be able to display them in a different way, just so that I can kind of see like the basic design of what they want, if they want more modern, more professional, whatever it may be, so that they have those options.
Okay, I think that's a great answer. And then also with that, there's going to be customers that get frustrated, they're going to get angry that maybe it's not what they wanted, didn't turn out the way they thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
How do you handle that? How do you handle a customer that's almost attacking your work and criticizing your work?
Yeah, first I would foremost apologize. I'm gonna, like own up to it, like that was my work and I'm sorry that you felt that way. And that I didn't, I guess, portray things you wanted me to. So definitely don't blame it on them. You always want to take responsibility for yourself. And then from there, I would ask specifically, like, what else do you want? What else, like, can I put in here for you that would help appeal to your company? And then I would just kind of make up probably a quick sketch of what I'm thinking, and then we can work together about what they want in the end.
Okay. How long has it been so far?
6 minutes, 49 seconds.
So tell me about yourself and your work ethic, because you told me about where you're from, but I'm kind of more curious about your work ethic and how you do with teams.
Okay. Yeah, so in my past job experience, like I said before, like doing photography on my own, so work ethic there, definitely. One thing I love about photography is that I can work a lot one-on-one with clients, and it's super important for them to feel that they can trust you, that they can smile in front of you, and they feel comfortable. And so that's one thing that I feel like I've been able to really bring to the table with my clients, that they feel that they can be themselves with me, and they can be honest with me about what they want, what they don't want, and things like that. But in my other jobs, I've been able to work a lot like with groups. So for example, I worked here on campus, I've worked in the admissions office for a semester, and so there I really had to work with my team, because these individual students come to you with their problems and things that they need to like fix basically about getting into school, and so it's kind of a big responsibility because their like academic future is on your shoulders. And so one thing that we really had to do with students is really discuss these individual students with the full-timers and be able to feel comfortable with them, not feel intimidated, and to be able to work together with them on that. And right now I work as a student secretary for the communications department, which I love, and it's kind of given me a way to become close with all the professors and become relationships with them. And with that, I need to work with all these professors about like their classes. I've had to substitute classes for them or grade their papers or even like work together on assignments because they want my input. And so that's something that I've been able to really, I guess, understand better about the communication field, and also at a collegiate level about what these professors want and how I can grow that relationship with them.
Great answers. So there's going to be times where you're going to be doing multiple projects at once. How are you organized-wise?
So usually I will look at the client and see like where their priority level is at. So for example, if one needs it in like their product in 2 days versus a week, I would put that first and foremost. And so from there, I would probably work on the project for 2, 3, 4 hours a day and then move on to another one, just so I can give my eyes kind of a break, different projects, so then I can come back and kind of see something that I missed or something that I can improve on for that individual project. So that's how I would organize them, as priority, and then make sure that I don't work on just the same project all day. If I get like a little break to work on something else, to mix up that way.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And so then my last question is, if there are going to be times where you're working in teams, how do you motivate team members that maybe aren't pulling their weight?
That's a great question. I think that especially working in like a professional and a career, that it's really important for all of us to pull our weight. It's not necessarily just school. And so I would probably just pull examples from like these companies and say these are our requirements, this is what we need to do, and try to motivate them that way. And then also not just say like what they're doing wrong, but talk about things they're doing right, like thank them for the things that they're contributing to our group project, and then also having a discussion with them about how we can all become better instead of just pointing them out and saying, you're not pulling your own weight. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So that's all I have for questions. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I do. So how does the day-to-day schedule work? Like, what does a typical day look like at the office?
So the typical days, you'll come in between 8 to 10, kind of depending. That's up to you,
Okay.
depending on how early of a start you want to get.
Okay.
We're not incredibly strict on that. And then we'll have our team debriefing at 10 o'clock. That's where we're going to go through our projects. We like to do checkups to see how each group is doing on their
Okay.
projects that they've been assigned from our clients.
Okay.
Then after that, we will just kind of break off, and that's when you go off to do your own thing. Maybe work with some of the sales reps, see where they're at. They'll work with you up until about 5 o'clock. That's pretty much up to you, figuring out what you want to do. We're pretty lax on our schedule here.
Okay.
Pretty much it's just, we give you a task, and then it's your job to get it done, and to check back up with us is when we ask.
Great, that's awesome. And then how many, you said it was a smaller company, so like how many employees are in the office?
Right now, we're about 30 employees.
Okay.
So we have 10 sales reps, about 7 designs, and then a few other just kind of managerial positional spots.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, that's all the questions that I have for you, so.
But-
Great.